Well, hello everyone. I am Joel with this DIIO group, and if you're here to this open training, it's because you really want to learn about what we are doing, what the process is, behind the scenes. Maybe you've been in Discord, maybe you're in the Facebook group, but you've been to the new website, you understand that we are trying to create a better environment for a community of like-minded people that really can use algorithms, and those are technical words, right? But algorithms in terms of making their financial opportunities, at least that's how I interpret it, better, right? So I found Brayson a couple of years ago in this group. I've been watching, and just recently I came on board. I've only been training like 65 days. So when I get these trainings, I'm doing more of the what have I learned, the process to signing up, the brand new trader mentality, the educational side of this, the community side of this. That's what I focus on. Brayson, in this relationship is going to be doing more of the algorithms, the advanced trainings, the trading type of stuff. So like every other Thursday, we're going to swap, right? So if you're a paid member, next week Brayson will come on and do like, I think he's actually doing portfolio manager, which is really cool. And I'll talk to you about that. But it's another way to use these algorithms and insights that he's created on the market, right? So anyway, what is DIIO? Am I just sharing this? Let me actually share my entire screen. It's probably a lot easier for me. There we go. All right. So what is DIIO? Let's talk about it here. I am on a VPN, and you're going to learn about that if you haven't yet, with like screen recording and sharing screens and VPN. Like, it does slow things down. So DIO Elite is a website that we kind of tossed together here recently to express what we're trying to create, right? If you haven't been there, you should go check it out. And there's just a handful of pages here. It's really simple. We have a Discord community. If you're not in it, it's free. You click the little link and it's going to invite you to the Discord community. If you want some free content, you can click on this link here and you're in the back end of a members portal, which we're going to talk about, and I'll show you that side too, just very quickly. Most importantly, we're an exclusive crypto and trading education on how to use algorithms that Brayson has created to put yourself in a better position. Whether that market's going down, you can look at what assets are doing and what you can expect, or what statistical probability says it can happen, right? So we're always risk adverse first. We're very asymmetrical. And these are all words that may be confusing, but the more you hear them and the more I try to simplify them for you, I think it will help, right? So we are building this community of like-minded individuals, hopefully to grow as we grow. So we put this whole plan together in a way to give free education, filter out very higher end, higher ticket type of clients. Like this starts at $2,000 a month, right? So this is not like a cheap community or group of networked and like-minded people, but it's going to get even more expensive as we grow. So on the about page, we got this awesome little 3-minute video. Watch it. This shows kind of who Brayson is. Like, he's just a good, cool cat. Like, I've never been in the same room with him, but yet he's changed my mindset in terms of where I want to be, where my effort is, where my focus is, where my time is. And I've seen greater results in all different categories of my life, right? So I am a big proponent in here to share those elements because I do believe in them. Underneath them, these are what he created. Like, the guy's been building it for years, and I've watched the evolution come from just an email of a write-up once a week with a picture to real-time data at your fingertips for any asset that is on TradingView, whether that be Forex, traditional stocks, S&P 500, NVIDIA, crypto, right? These altcoins, like, it's crazy. Gold, silver, you can do any of it through this platform using the algorithms, and then you go execute your trade or your spot trade or your holdings however you want, right? So if you click on any of these 5 algorithms, and there's like 6, 7, or 8, right? But 3 of them talk to this one, which talks to this one. Like, someday I'll pull up the whole web of the tree and the flow chart of how all these things work. But the confluence monitor is the one that kind of is the brain or the heart, in my opinion. But you can click on any one of them. They take you to one page. What are breakout bars? Well, here's what they are. Go read them. right? What is a confluence monitor? What is a movement monitor, volatility monitor, dynamic pressure lens? These are what people are purchasing, right? Yes, we have advanced training. It's not really that. Like you need that advanced training to learn how to use this powerful tool. It's like selling you a Bugatti or, a Ferrari. You never driven a supercar. It's kind of dangerous, honestly, just to give your brand new 16-year-old a brand new Ferrari that can kill himself, right? So, this is a tool that when used incorrectly, you know, I guess could cause like some financial harm, right? If you don't understand what you're doing in any investment thing, then you can lose. And there's always that probability. So we always don't talk certainty. We're not financial advisors. Like that, this is none of those things. This is data that you interpret. And if you're smart enough to comprehend the data and learn how to use it, you can really, really succeed. Okay, so here's where we're at in terms of pricing. I'm an open book. We are doing this in 4 phases. If you're in phase 1, you're literally paying $2,000 a month for access to the algorithms, which I'm going to show you and talk about. But you're locking in at 2,000 a month, and that means you're the first 12 active paying members. 12 active members will be paying in phase 1 $2,000 a month. Then we will move to phase 2, $2,250 a month. The only difference is $250 a month, and you are not in phase 1. There will be some other perks and benefits to phase 1. We'll probably extend some of those to phase 2, but as we grow, the cost will go up because there'll be more resources, there'll be less of the build together and more value. And we should start to bring in even more higher caliber people. When you're paying $3,000 a month to partake in something that could be expensive if it's brand new. However, what I'm learning is half of the people that buy these algorithms don't actually just use them just to like day trade or derivative, perpetual futures contracts, leverage trading, all these things. What the hell does that mean, Joel? I'm going to talk about them. What they do is just simply assess their portfolio. They have a lot of holdings in Tesla, example, right? These are all examples. Or they have a lot of VeChain or VET token. And they want to just know, is it a good time to hold all of this? Or is it a better time to maybe off some of them, move them over to Ethereum while it performs, and then buy back the VET when it's cheaper, right? It's spot trading, but it's not this high-paced Discord fanatical thing that we're all talking about. But they have so much value there because if you're moving $500,000 and you can potentially save yourself that 10% dip because it's blue on blue and you can see that, why not pull that 500, let it dip the 10 points, and then buy 500 back, and now you have 10% more holdings, right? So there's just a lot of ways to manipulate your $2,000 value, whether that be you're learning and you want to do derivative trading, whether that just wanted to be to give you insights on what you currently hold or where your money can be parked and stored more efficiently. So like we are moving to phase 2. How many more people? Ready? Here's the answer. Yeah, celebrations. Here we go. We are at 11 members. Joel, that sounds really pitchy and gimmicky and salesy. Well, when you're watching this video as of March 7th at 1:17 Arizona time, there are 11 members in our platform. Now, 2 or 3 of them, maybe even 4 of them, just signed up a week ago. Like when we launched this website, like when we finally put together the ability to do these items, right? So that has been really helpful. We are at number 11. Jordan, who signed up, just the last person, is at number 11. Now we're not locking in those numbers until they're paid their third month, really. Here's why. You have a 60 days. We don't care why. Like if you just you didn't like it didn't work for you, you lost all your money, you don't have the time, it's too hard, like doesn't matter. That's okay. Just don't take up one of our memberships, right? We really want to focus on getting 100 of the right people, and that's okay. You can come later, phase 2, come in phase 3. Like if the $500 difference in price is that important, like you may not be in the right group anyway, and that's okay. That's okay. Like we'll be here when you're ready. It's not for everybody, right? So I did want to talk about phase 1. We have one more spot left. If you want that spot, the first thing you need to do is click this apply now button and fill out the survey. There it is. It's long. Oh man, that's a long survey. Yeah, well, you're gonna have to jump through a little bit of hoops because we want you to identify not just hoops, it will help us understand who you are, what kind of risk profile you may have. Are you gonna be a good fit? Like, is this for you? You got some people that like to play with 10,000 in trading, some like to play with $1 million in trading, right? Like there's different people in our group, and we hope that you can become one of them when you are ready. So go check out the website. There is this checklist, which we encourage every member to run through on all of your trades. It is a lot. You have to learn it. Joel, I don't even know what the heck any of this means. No worries. Go join our free group, and we have all of the training there. Here is the checklist training. All of this is free. In a week and a half, we have over 46 people now inside of the system, and there's 11 sold spots. There are 89 remaining. And again, you will watch us grow and build this as we go. So it's really cool stuff there. So let's talk about the next thing that I'm supposed to be doing. Where the heck is it? Here it is. All right. Intro DIO, I did that. Like it's a group, it's a Discord channel, it's free training, but what you're buying are algorithms and access to data to view any asset through TradingView. Lots of dots to connect, and I'm going to go over them, right? DIO phases, we are finishing phase 1. If you want that last spot, fill out the survey form. Brayson or I will contact you, and we'll give you a link if you want to give it a go. 60 days, no questions asked. If not, we'll just get your spot to someone else who wants that number 12 spot. Like phase 1 is going to be very special. DIO back office, we slightly touched on that. We're going to do a little bit more of that as we go. And what should I do before I get started? This has been the number one thing that I've had questions on. Well, we suggest you do a variety of things. So I'm going to share this deck. If anyone wants it, it will be in the link below this little video and recording. But we suggest you get it, and I'm going to run through them first, and then I have this doc to share. So you're going to get access to both. So don't just try to scribble everything down. Watch the video, pause the video, go to these links, open the doc, like use the resources we are providing. A new email, we'll talk about that. Fiat onboarding, a VPN, you need an exchange, and you need TradingView. So those are all things that you can go do before you start paying your membership and make sure this is something for you. TradingView costs a little bit of money. VPN costs a little bit of money. If you're going to do DeFi, you may need a Trust Wallet or, a MetaMask or a way to get to hold your stuff, but also a Trezor Model T for cold storage. So you're like, not your keys, not your crypto, right? Type of thing. And I think everyone knows that stuff. So here's what we need to do. We're going to go through this link one at a time because it's important for everybody to understand. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Let's make this a little bigger. So we want you and suggest if you're ready to embark on this journey, you're going to be signing up for items. Make a brand new email account. An independent one that you don't use for anything else. We suggest two-factor auth because this is crypto, baby. Like this is real stuff. You lose your crypto, like you're not getting it back. So use protection. Independent email, two-factor auth for crypto, email only for crypto and trading. Keeps everything organized. Don't give it to your friends for a funny little meme thread. Don't fill out any forms with it unless you're signing up for them, because we want you to get the emails if there's something happening with your exchange, with any of your subscriptions that you use for your trading. Nothing but trading and logins. All of them go in this one account. We like Gmail. Here's a link, right? How to do it. Like go click on the freaking link. It's going to be right there for you. Create a brand new Gmail account, follow the steps. And I'm going to make this prettier, but this is like for our training, right? So we're always going to improve. Fiat onboarding. If you don't have money in crypto, you need to get your dollars or whatever currency you're moving to crypto. You need to fiat onboard. You need to onboard your regular money to crypto, right? We like a couple of different ways to do that. There's Coinbase, and then there's Kraken, and then there's Gemini, right? And I'm going to talk a little bit about those, but they're all here, and I'm going to share with you these links so you know you're in the right place. Are these my affiliate links right now? No. Will they be on a pretty little PDF that we use as a lead hook? Well, DIIO will have their own link. Yes, right? Just open. So Coinbase, go click on it. If you've never been to it, go click on the link, go to their website. I also linked some basic stuff. They all have a lot of educational things on their platform. Oh gosh, this is loading so slow. Hold on. It will load. Coinbase Crypto Basics. I linked to it. What is Bitcoin? What is cryptocurrency? So they all like to try to gamify it because they don't think we're smart enough, right? So they want us to really go through the process and earn $1 here and watch this video here. Coinbase, pretty cool platform. It's an easy way to onboard your fiat money to crypto. Connect your account, transfer some money, buy some Bitcoin, buy some USDT, and send it over to your exchange because that's what you're going to need to trade, right? Also, Kraken, if you're moving a lot of money, this may be lowest on fees, in our opinion. And we linked a couple different links for Kraken. So there's Coinbase, there's Kraken, there's Gemini. Those are the three ways that we think you can crypto onboard. Let's make sure we're on there. Yep, fiat onboarding, Coinbase, Kraken, and Gemini, right? The widest range, I linked it there. You can go through the process. You're going to have to learn these things, but at least you will know you're not clicking on some hot link that's a bad one. You're clicking on ones that we put together for you. So you got Kraken, you got Gemini, which I don't use. Like I've never used Gemini, but I linked it here for you because Brayson said this is one of the top 3 ways to get your money into crypto assets. Like they make it pretty simple, right? So it's super important that you learn and understand what you need to do. So what does DIIO do though? Well, we do perpetual derivatives with leverage if you want trading. What the heck is that? Like you're starting to sound like Brayson. You're using words I don't understand. I've heard people say that, and I want to take you through the process. I had to look these things up. And I'm not too proud to say that. I use Google. I go, what is perpetual derivatives? What the heck are you talking about? Because when I go to these platforms, that's the button I got to click on. So I should know what it is, right? So I linked to it from Investopedia. You know, I try to use like at least resources that I've used as my own resources. Derivatives, types of considerations, pros and cons, everything you need to know, right? A derivative refers to the type of financial contract whose value is dependent on underlying asset, right? So it's like an over-the-counter, it's a paper. It's not the actual asset. It's the derivative form through the exchange that ties to the actual price of the asset, right? That's what we're using USDT to leverage trade. What does that mean? Well, keep going down. Perpetual derivatives and perpetual future contracts. I linked another Investopedia article, which I found very helpful. Okay. Here's why they're popular among traders in the cryptocurrency market. And go read it. Like, this is not going to be easy because you need to learn new things. It takes time. If you're not willing to do that, you're just not ready yet, and that's okay. Right? So go through these hot links, understand you need a new email, you need to get money into crypto, and what we're doing is perpetual derivatives, future trading on leverage. Well, what the heck, man? Oh my gosh, my head already hurts, right? But besides that, you do need other items. And I'm going to try to piecemeal these in the back office so everyone learns them step by step. We're going to try to make it fun, just like everyone else does, because it is not easy. If it were easy, everyone would do it. Okay. You also need a VPN. Now, this costs a little bit of money. What is a VPN? Well, it's a virtual private network. I like Nord. There are a handful of other ones. It does not matter which one you're on. You need a VPN because it essentially gives you a private network. When you log on to these exchanges, they don't know about you or your device or your location. And sometimes you are restricted being a US resident, right? So you do need a VPN, a virtual private network, a service that protects your internet connection and privacy online. VPNs create an encrypted tunnel for your data, protect your online identity by hiding your IP addresses, and allow you to use public Wi-Fi spots safely. I personally use it all the time now. Before I traded, I thought it was weird. Not gonna lie. Now I understand why most of the world out there uses a VPN. So I'm all in on VPN. I use Nord. It costs money. That's why there's a little dollar sign next to it. I don't know. It's like $7 a month or $5 a month or $50 a year. And then they try to upsell you. I didn't buy any of the upsells personally. I didn't need like, I don't know what it was. Just you can go through it and look at it. But like it's like $50. But it will help your ability to do what we're trying to do. Now, in order to trade money, the crypto that you just onboarded from your bank account, you need to get it to an exchange that allows these perpetual derivatives to be traded. We like the ones with leverage, right? So there are a handful of exchanges. What is a crypto exchange? I gave you a link. Like I'm here to just mostly teach you and streamline the process of how you can get involved and learn more by going to the right places so you don't have to go do all the searching. You don't have to think. I'm gonna try to do some of that for you. What are the crypto exchanges and how do they work? Well, read all about it. They're like traditional stock and commodities exchanges, except they're the kinds of platforms that facilitate its participants to trade in all different kinds of cryptocurrencies. We use exchanges to do these trades. Which ones? Well, there are a handful. There's lots of them. There's no right one for you or wrong one for you. What I like about it is they all operate at a very similar level. They all kind of have the same layout. They all kind of have the same buttons. Maybe they have a different label for something. But other than that, you learn one, it's like you can use Safari or you can use Google, but you know how to use a browser. Does that make sense to you guys, hopefully? So you need an exchange. Personally, I'm thinking about having 2 or 3 or 4 exchanges because I want options. I've been in a trade, and I've only traded for 60 days, but I've been in a trade where I'm in a long at a really good spot, but I know it's going to drop $10, but I don't want to leave my long because I have a really good entry. I'm not at risk of liquidation. It's already in profit. I've already taken profit, but I want to short it a little bit. And you can do that with like hedge mode and exchanges, or you can short it on Bing X and long it over here. Right. So you got to find what works for you, although that is why I want to do it. Plus, risk diversification. You don't want to put all your money in an exchange because there are, back in, what was it, 2022 or 2020, 2022, when one or two of them did have problems. It's not normal. It's the percent of a percent of a percent chance that it could happen. So we have chosen a couple exchanges that we feel are safe. Not financial advice again. I don't know what works for you. This is what the other DIO members, including myself, use. Now, there's 2 ways to go. Let's stop this for 1 second. There are 2 ways. Oh, there's my balloons. Hey, how you doing, Marco? So there's 2 ways to go here. One is you can KYC, right? You can get an alternative ID from the country of Palau, which we do, and I'm going to show you the links to all that. And then you have a virtual residency card that you can actually go through the exchanges without lying. Like we don't play games. We give them our real information. We register with our real names. It's our real photos. And we're not, doing anything other than following the steps. Then we can go to a couple of exchanges and actually KYC where they know their customer and actually verify that we are in a position to use their exchange because some of them do block those US based IPs and residents. I don't know the exact reasons, but I just go through the process, right? So there's a fork there. Whether you want to go and get a Palau residency ID, and it costs money. Again, this one is another thing that costs money and it takes time. It's about a month-long process. So if you think you're jumping right in and you're going to get a Bybit account and you're funding your account, you need this Palau ID, unless, maybe if you live in another country and you don't need that. But if you're in the US, this is how we do it. $248 for a year. like, I don't know, $500 for multi-year or something. And they actually mail you a little card. It's kind of cool. It's official.
Travis was
And
just holding it up. There's Travis right there. There he is.
what's that?
Travis is holding up his card.
There it is. Yeah. Hey, hello, everyone. Cool. Yeah, so it is there. It is real. These are part of the process. If you want to go with some of these exchanges like Bybit, BitGet, or KuCoin, this is how we do it, at least. Now, you don't have to if you don't want to do that process and use Bybit, BitGet, or KuCoin, which are exchanges, which we just spoke about. You can use BingX and FemX inside of the US with a VPN without the Palau ID, as far as we know. Now, at any point in time, they can change their stuff, right? So personally, I went through, did the Palau ID, and now I can do it on all these exchanges, and I'm comfortable, and I'm telling, I'm honest, and I'm going through the process, and I'm doing what they're asking, right? So BingX, what is it? It's an exchange, right? And I linked to them. So you can go learn about them. We like looking for ones that have been around a while. So they've been through some of the bears and bulls. They've been through the ups and downs. They didn't close when others were withdrawing withdrawals, like stopping withdrawals. Like this has happened. So you want to be aware and risk, and associate what you have with the risk and where it is. But again, these are all things that we feel comfortable in. I feel comfortable in. I'm going to load up money on BingX because they have some cool ways to use the algorithms. Femex, another link. And they all try to teach you, like I showed you. Go click around on these links and watch some of these videos, learn. They have knowledge bases. You can search articles and you can learn a lot because they really want you to know what you're doing so you can use their exchanges and they make money. Like the exchanges do take a fee to fund some of these leveraged based accounts. And it's a time-based fee as long as you're in the trade, and it could be like 0.01%, and it could be 0.1%. I've seen it like as high as like almost 1%, I think, on one of my trades, but they charge little fees in 8 hour, 6 hour increments. I think it depends on which one you're on, to hold the trade open, right? So they're competing for your business. They're making a lot of money by facilitating these sort of transactions for us, right? So you need an exchange to do these sort of trades. Personally, I did the Palau ID. And again, these are all links. I'm going to share the document with you. You don't need to write them all down, but these are all like things to do before you get started. You are going to need a new email. You need money into crypto. You need to know what perpetual and derivatives are because that's what you're trading. I should actually move this right now just so I don't confuse people. Fiat onboarding, that's what this is. Okay. Learn what DIO trading is. You need a VPN. I like Nord. Again, there's a handful. You need an exchange. Like, oh man, there's a lot of things, right? That's why I want to provide the checklist, provide you links and things that you can go click around and go do. Um, you also need trading view. Like that's like the backbone to our algorithms is
Right. So,
trading.
so trading view is actually where the algorithms are loaded, right? It's actually
Yeah,
in
so
trading view.
correct. All of the algorithms are loaded inside of TradingView, and there are easy ways to get those algorithms to your account. Brayson logs in and takes your TradingView username and authorizes those to be a person that can plug into those. And then we give you share charts to allow you to just take over pre-built charts that Brayson has made that have the algorithms preloaded. And then from there, you can make as many of those as you want or need. Okay. So TradingView is a subscription, right? It is needed, and we need the TradingView premium account. Like that's the only thing I suggest. Like I do think you can maybe do it, but we all use 8 chart layouts, and a lot of the pre-built share charts are 8 chart layouts. So you need this $50 a month plan, but they always let you sign up for free. And then at the end of your free 30 days, they offer you this $50 plan for like $300 a year. And that's what we all tried to go do. So like they give you like their Black Friday special for like signing up for a free trial if you don't buy it right away, right? So just because you need it, don't just buy it. Do the free trial, then wait, then buy their little upsell at the end, and you'll get the best value there. But yes, TradingView is where everything lives and the algorithms live. And I'll kind of just log in here for 1 second and show you, because the only thing, and I haven't even clicked around TradingView to be honest that much. The only thing I've ever used on TradingView is super charts. Maybe other members can tell me if there's other cool things to do on here, but I haven't even spent the time to click around yet and learn those things, because on the super charts are where we pull up the charts of the asset that have all of these preloaded algorithms inside of them. So this is TradingView. This is a view of our algorithms in action on, I guess, Solana, and it's a very micro time frame, the 1, the 3, the 5, the 12, 4 different charts. You can change the chart interval by clicking the numbers. So you can always view this. Like if I wanted to look at this in the 14-minute chart for some reason, I could, right? And you got to find the charts that make the most sense for you. Again, these are the preloaded micro ones, I think, or these are the ones that I've already saved, because these are the ones I personally use, right? So they have all of the algorithms already installed on them. That's what these are, the dynamic pressure lines. I should be able to turn them on and off, as you can see. Those are where we may find resistances or supports, where there's lots of, and that's actually, this right here is that trade I just got into, and I was simply just using the lines, and it was up here, and I'm like, there's no way it will come down to here, but let's just put in an order there with a 30% stop loss. Like it was pretty loose. And it worked well, right? And it was literally just because of that line was there. And that's the only reason that trade happened for me. So that's really cool. We have this, linear regression channel. That's a 200 bar mark, meaning if we're looking at it in the 90-minute chart, each bar is 90 minutes, and it's the previous 200. And green would be up, red would be down. And, as you can see, it kind of bounces around the standard deviation or the median line often, up and then down, bullish, then bearish, right? Inside of the channel. These are all things you're going to hear us talk about with like blue on blue under blue, or under red. Blue bar with a blue movement monitor. And if you don't know what those are yet, go watch the videos that are in your back office, because they're super powerful. But this is where they all live. What I've learned is they all have different even settings, like, which is really cool. I didn't even really know about this the first 45 days I was trading, that like if I'm in a 90-minute trend, like view chart, maybe I want short-term micro charts, or maybe I even want this scalping micro chart, which is going to give us a little bit of a different volatility cloud, right? And not as I guess it will save you from having a heart attack, probably, if you're actually micro trading or scalping these 5-minute things like I have before, because it gives me more understanding that just because there's this big dip, there still is that upward. You're not turning red right away, which is when I start to panic if I'm in a long, right? It's well, not panic. It's a good understanding that maybe you're not in the right place. So there are a lot of really cool settings that we'll talk about in the advanced and the paid side, but in this free side here, where I'm in charge of, what I really want to do is show you guys that they all come ready for you to use, and you utilize TradingView in a way where you can look at assets in different time frames with different saved charts, right? So I have a couple different layouts, as you can see here, that I have preloaded, like my near micro layout, or that one looks like it's vet, even though it's mislabeled. ETH midterm. Well, I want to look at ETH on a midterm layout. Grayson has supplied us share charts for us just to install. Look how good ETH actually looks on this midterm layout, which is 1 day, as you can see right here, 1D, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day, 6 day, 1 week, and 2 week, right? So we can see that it's, and I know my man Ho has a really awesome trade, and I don't know if you're still running it, but it's still looking pretty solid. So all of these charts are provided to us, and this system allows you to do a lot more than just crypto stuff, right? So what I like and what I've learned about this is, I have, let's say, Tesla, for example. Oh, I went in the wrong one. My bad. Talks Tesla. Here you go. So Tesla, it will work on traditional stocks too. Like we can see on this 1 day chart here, let me open it up, not just on crypto. Like on December 21st, the bars, which were orange on orange, and it was just going up from this little zone, started to turn red, then blue, then the movement monitor went from orange. Here, let me zoom in here so you can kind of just see what I'm talking about here. Like, I think this is so cool. If you're a big spot holder or you have a lot of Tesla, you can see right here things are changing, right? The movement monitor went from orange to green. Something to notice, not 85% upward, statistical probability. Green is between 50 and 75, right? So it's starting to peak and go down a little bit. Obvious to us because we have these colors, in my opinion. You don't have these pressure lines right here. There's a pressure line sitting right here at 252. Maybe it was a little bit higher at the time, in my opinion. But again, this was December 28th. You can see this happening. The bars started turning blue, the movement monitor, the volatility cloud changed. Like right here is like, whoa, what's going on, right? And then you can see the movement. Now it's under the red volatility cloud, meaning price action could move all the way up to 253. And we still think the data still says this is in downward propensity. This is moving the opposite direction is up. The channel's now red, right? And this to me is just obvious when you're looking at it. And when you're seeing it in real time, it's so obvious that you doubt it. It's easy to look at hindsight, in my opinion, but the data was there in real time. The movement monitor started to turn red. Now, right here is where we call Bob. It's blue breakout bar with a blue movement monitor under a red volatility cloud on a 1 day time frame that has already moved down from 264 all the way down to 238. But still, that says that's where we like to go in on a short, right? Of course, you find your asymmetrical, meaning I want to put a little short in here, and you would do that by clicking, where is this thing? Short position. Oh, where am I? All right, short position right around here. And you can use these pressure lines as an example. And again, I'm not the short or the long or the setup master. That's Brayson. But what we're looking for is really 7-to-1 asymmetrical shorts and longs right on those lines under the blue on blue on blue, right? And as you can see here on this chart, and again, maybe you haven't done these things yet, maybe I'm not making sense to you, it doesn't really change until that movement monitor right here turns red. And then the cloud turns. So like right around here, this orange breakout bar with a red movement monitor, the volatility cloud changed. Like it could have, if you wanted to go all the way down to that green pressure line, you had a really nice short, like a ridiculously nice short. So did you do it? No. Did I do it? No. If I see this happening again, like you can see it happening here, and you can start to get used to these items, it does become not easier, just not as difficult, right? So people, members, are using these things for a lot of varieties, not just crypto, not just spot, not just leverage derivative, 5 minute 20 and 50x leverage trading, but for traditional, for Forex. Like there are some cool, Forex things that I've looked at. Now I don't Japan US dollar. Um I don't trade crypto, but I know a lot of people that do. And if you're looking on these 1 day charts, they also are less volatile and less quick moving, in my opinion, than crypto, but still pretty crazy, less than traditional. But the data is all the same. The algorithms still work the same way. It uses volatility clouds, linear regression lines, movement monitors, breakout bars, confluence monitors to give you an idea of where things may or may not go, right? So like that's what we're trying to do. And it is all done on the TradingView backbone. So TradingView, I mean, that's where we inject the algorithms. So TradingView is a requirement in order to use this. Can you load it up somewhere else? No, not right now. This works really great because there are things you can do on this, such as setting alerts. right? And I'm not going to get into all these trainings on all of these calls. I want to make time for questions, but I did want to make sure to go through these items, right? And to be on another call is if you're in DeFi, you may need some more like MetaMask or a Trust wallet. It's having a decentralized wallet and then maybe a Trezor Model T for cold storage. It's like another $300. So this one, costs a little bit of money. This one costs a little bit of money. KuCoin, BitGet, BuyGet, those are all with Palau, which cost a little bit of money. Investopedia, Femex doesn't cost anything. BingX, in fact, they all have these gamified ways to invite people. VPN, I have $1 sign there because it's not a lot of money. It's like $5, $6 a month. Gemini, Kraken, Coinbase, they're going to charge you a fee, right? Kraken does probably have the lowest fees associated. But again, I'll share this out with you. Do it in order. Start with your new email, make it fresh. I don't care if you already have stuff. I suggest doing this for DIIO, making your username to get into your back office on our website, maybe even changing your Discord. Like I go crazy and I go all in, and anything connected to DIIO, which is BitGet, BingX, Palau, Google, TradingView, Nord. They all have logins, right? You want them in one place. Go get that. Here's a link for you. Get your money over to crypto, Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini. Learn what perpetual and derivatives and futures and leverage and these very complex words. Learn what they are. Here's some hot links for you. You will need a VPN to use an exchange. BingX and Femex are some ones that may not need future Palau IDs.
But to that though,
KYC.
you're saying you need the VPN like if you use Bybit and the others, but
Yeah,
if you're using some of the ones like BingX or Femex, you don't necessarily need the VPN.
you need a VPN for BingX for all of them. As far as I know, and I use it all the time. Maybe one time I did connect to BingX by accident without a VPN, and I think I got that little pop-up that said I was in a restricted country, unless that was Bybit. But I would suggest, and I think Brayson's on and he can probably chime in here, needed for any exchanges that we are going to suggest, I believe. So a VPN required, TradingView required, an exchange required. There is a fork there if you want KYC with Palau. Like you don't need Palau for BingX and Femex, and you need Palau for Bybit, BitGet, and KuCoin. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And the only other thing I would say is I think Kraken, if you have enough funds, whether it's 1 million or whatever it is, will let you also trade perpetuals. So just something of
Kraken
note.
will. You just
If
need
you
to have
have
it. You said
enough,
a million.
if you have enough money, Kraken will let you do it. You have to go through their process. But yeah.
So as far as the getting started process, like it does sound like a lot, and I guess it is a lot. Like after I say it out loud and I try to train it and teach it, that's a lot of steps, but they are worth it. Like to me personally, it's shifted my entire mind of like what I want to do with my time and my giving and the experience to help the people that are on these types of calls. Like I think we are the right people who are, future, thought leading in terms of I do believe crypto. I do think it's a good vehicle to make a bunch of money. I also believe it's the future, but we do have stocks. I have 401, like I have traditional investments, I have some gold, like we try to diversify and this data is available for all of those items. And that's what I find as unique to this group. And of course, Brayson wants to open up these new channels, with like experts in different sides of the field, including like recently he found like someone who understands some sort of crypto attorney or something like, right. So there are tax people that I really want to get involved here because I don't really have a clear cut leader in tax things for crypto, but I'm sure someone here knows someone that wants to participate with people like us that can really bring value to the community. I know Ho, a doctor, health and the mindfulness and the way to do the things that he's doing and wants to bring that knowledge. And I got some software and tech side that I'm trying to simplify Brayson's analytical mind. And Brayson's got these algorithms. And together, everyone has these sort of strengths. So like that's my goal here is to building this type of community is to find the right people learn along the way. Like I'm no expert trader. I've been doing this 60 something days. I've had a lot of success and fun, but I have shifted where I want to spend my time to be more available. And I know more of you want that, and maybe you can't get there yet. Maybe it's hard, but like once I made that decision, to the point where I'm selling other businesses that I built for 7 years because I'm like, I'll take the money and go trade it. It's more fun. It's easier. There's less liability, less employees, payroll, overhead, rent, like all these things. Not that they're bad. I still have them. I have a software company. Like I sit on a tech fund. Like I do work, but my free time is this and my family and travel and trying to grow this with the right people because I think it will excel and propel all of us in the directions that we want to go. And I look forward to the in-person events and breaking bread and having food and like meeting these characters. Johnny Cakes the pirate, like he's a real person, right? He's a crazy guy. Like I wish he's on here, but like I'm happy he cashed out. And I know he's kicking himself in the butt because it went up $12 more since he cashed out. And but that makes me very happy. That to me is growth. Like because I was a little concerned. I'm worried that he's crazy, right? So everyone's a little bit different. And that's not wrong. That's not bad. That's you have your own journey and I want to learn from it. I want to share from mine and I want to experience the wins and losses together. So like again, just being very true, that's my goal here is to simplify the process, make it easier for people to learn this complex thing. It's not easy. This is not easy. Trading is not easy. I can already understand how people get sucked in. I almost got sucked in. I'm only 60 days in, but I'm learning balance. I'm learning what's healthy for me. And it may not be the same for you, but I'm here to help any way that I can, whether it be hop on a Zoom, walk you through what I've learned. I don't know everything. I'll get the answers. And I want to build this in a way where you feel comfortable inviting your network that fits well with us. Not everyone's a good fit. Like we get it, but that's why we give you the 60 days. Phase one has one more available as of, again, right now. Who knows when you're watching this video in the back office. But yeah, that's kind of my how-to getting started. I'm going to make it prettier. Every day you guys will start to see some new content, a little bit of new downloads, a PDF, an email sequence, a new sign-up automation. Like our team is working on those things and we just continue to improve each day, continue to learn, share our experiences, building in public. You have ideas, chime in, get in Discord, tell me what you need, tell me what you want, and I will do my best to serve that. So like, again, that's my intent. That's my goal. I definitely want to provide you what you guys need. I don't want to just do these every week. That's why I do want to do them every week, but I want them to be more of a hangout, talk about trading, what's happening, the market, new cool things. But we do got to get these handful of rudimentary foundational trainings recorded so we can at least have something in the back office so we can move on to those. So next week, I don't know, Brayson's got his kid and different things changing around next week, but sometime next week, Brayson's going to train the paid members. Then I'll be back with this, type of free side. And so just so expectations are hit, like half of our meetings on these, which went a little long today, of course, and normally do, is to educate the person who's on the sidelines, learning and feeling comfortable to come in and what their next steps are. And the other Thursdays are for like the training, the algorithms, the setups, the mindset, like that type of paid member stuff. So again, just so you can all set your schedules, like I know Ho wakes up super early in the morning to do these, and maybe he doesn't want to sit through another website demo next 2 weeks from now, if that's the case. I don't know. But there will be new things by then. So maybe it will be helpful. So with that, I could either stop the recording or at least at this point, I'll trim it. So like that's like the training element side that we can put in the back end. And then like let's open it up for like questions, conversations. We have a handful, a mixture of people here, Brayson. Jim is ready to sign up. He's about to sign up, waiting on some stuff. David Charles is my buddy, Legacy, that we invited. Travis and Ho are obviously members. Markel's here. He was here last week. Thank you for joining. And I don't know who MM is, but happy you're here. Anyone have anything that they want me to cover, talk more about, whether it be what we're the training? Like, I guess I didn't really talk too much about the new training. What has changed since my last call? My kids had rodeo break. I got a little bit sick, like, so not as much has been added as I wanted to. Where is it here? Let's find it.
I know what
Memberships.
you mean. I got code a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh
look,
man, I'm glad you're
but
feeling
you're sharing
better.
all my information right there. No, I'm just
Yeah,
messing.
well, I'm trying to really give you front and center stuff by accident here.
Well,
Let
I
me
say I
see
need
what.
to change my email based off of what you said.
Well, I do think that's something that we should do. I don't think it's like super urgent, but yes, if you already logged in, you're going to be logged into this already. And there is two different groups of communities. Connection lost. That's what happened. It's just so slow. There are two different groups and communities. One's the paid members, which I think I got like 9 out of 11 people in there. The other one has, 46 or so people in there. No new trainings have been added yet. I will be adding, this is not loading. It's my VPN. I will be adding Brayson's training last week. We finally found, so I did add new AI companion. So I'll have all the notes and it will break down all these things from our Zoom trainings, but Brayson's last 2.5 hour one last Thursday. I had to upload and I was waiting for it to chop it up, but we did able to do that. So we're going to be adding a couple different segments of last week's training to the paid member section. And then I'll add this part to our free member training right above last week's or right below last week's, probably for new members to watch in that order. Oh, and Brayson has new risk lists that maybe some people haven't seen in Discord that he posted maybe a week ago when there was that other thing that was happening in our group with Johnny's trade going up and down. So that was fun too. But we openly talk about it and we learn from it together. And I think that's really cool. So
Yeah, it was
I don't
really
know.
cool that he came on, came on very he was down a lot. And so he came on the Discord and was like, the algos don't work, and he was very upset. And then I ended up talking to him and we kind of like found, some of the things that had nothing to do with the algos. And we basically turned it into a list of, hey, this is what we can take from this moment, and it was an opportunity to educate people. I mean, I think a lot of people already understand this, but just in case, it's like, here are what the algos do, and here's a big list, and then here's what they don't do. Algos are not insurance against bad decisions. Algos, they're going to give you data from the past as well as present, but they're not going to help you if you're, just like, for instance, under the influence of alcohol or any kind of medication, and it's not necessarily the algos. They are truly just based off of math and statistics, and they just give us a great visual representation of what's going on with price action, what's going on with trend, what's going on with pressure. Those breakout bars, they're really like emotion, because they, on some of the more volatile assets, they definitely flip pretty quick, which is why we pay attention to the larger time frames, like the 1 day or larger. But that whole experience with Johnny, and the things that he was saying, I was like, how do I turn this into a gift that
Mhm.
he can help, other people so that they don't have this same experience. And so he came on later and, he basically said like, hey, I had a little bit of a meltdown. I had made certain decisions that led me to, where I was at. And then I think now he's in the opposite place, which is funny because it's like, kind of goes to show you the psychological emotions that we find ourselves in, from literally despair. And then I go to Vegas and I come back and he's like in euphoria. He's up like 65 grand. So it just kind of, do you want to play that game, or do you want to play, maybe more like myself or Joel, where you have risk mitigation and you take that to a much higher level, where when you play the game, the most you're willing to be down on any one trade is like 5%, if you're talking percentages. Or if you're willing to risk more, you're willing to risk more based on, the absolute value of the trade, which I think Joel does. He's willing to do something crazy with Pepe and lose it all, but all is $100, or
Yeah, I was
maybe
gonna
it's
say it was 120 bucks.
yeah, whatever it is. And then he has fun. Like the next day, it's, I think, like $1,500. He's like, I'm willing to play that game because I've made my decision. I'm okay losing $100, and I don't feel it's gambling because I'm doing it based on data. As silly as it is, I see orange on orange. And these are these are some great charts because if you look at just the first day, the one day that Ethereum went orange on orange, or the 2 day, I mean, that's kind of, in a lot of cases, how good it is. The problem with the fact that this looks so easy is that it's also easy to increase leverage and have high leverage with a tight stop loss. And then all of a sudden, you don't just have to be right, but you have to be right with extreme precision. And yes, that can lead to a lot of, upside, but you should also be aware that it is obviously more challenging. And so a
Yeah, look at
person that
that
says,
though. Orange on over green. Oh, as we say, is
yeah.
way down here, man. 2330.
And if a person would have used a very loose asymmetry calculator on a long right there and said, I'm going to put $10,000 into this, I'm just going to do it at 2x leverage or 3x leverage, they'd actually be in a really favorable position, because you have to keep in mind that $10,000 would be growing at 2 or 3 times the speed of regular spot Ethereum. And so that's not a trivial tempo, like when Ethereum goes on a run, people with spot portfolios are getting pretty excited. So if you bought, the equivalent of 5 Ethereum, and it grows, in a way that it's treated like 15 Ethereum, it can be pretty exciting, even though it's only 3x leverage, right? Which is it's not the exciting Bybit screenshot that we like to see sometimes, where it's like, oh, 20x leverage, 700%. That's amazing. I want to do that. Sometimes having a larger capital position with 2x leverage is the win, and it is safer. And then you can play this 1 day chart, a lot more easily and with a lot less stress, and a better understanding of at least the statistics behind you. And you could still protect yourself with a stop loss, but you also want to keep in mind, on this entire chart that I can see here from 2024 onward, I mean, I see, even in the places where the volatility cloud stayed green, I see two really, really good size wicks that would have stopped out, any given position. So you kind of have to decide, like, what do you really want to do? Or you find maybe a volatility cloud on a different setting that's even more conservative. Like sometimes that ultra sensitive, or, one of the other settings like agile, sometimes those might be settings that are a little bit less sensitive. And then in some cases, the wicks and the volatility are so strong that, it was just going to get stopped out anyway. But that's probably a class in itself.
Yeah,
So
no, there's definitely a lot of that. But what I have
yeah,
learned as I've been going through these things is the longer time frames, man. If you're willing to wait, I mean, there's a lot less changes in the clouds. They stay longer. The volatility is not as, I mean, still a bigger range of a daily volatility than on the
right.
20-minute or whatever, but a lot less emotional turmoil in terms of what you're looking at in terms of charting.
And
But
we
to,
do talk, on the checklist, we talk a bit about overextension, and it's kind of like the different, there's a huge difference between not participating in gains and actually realizing a loss. And so, like right now, 100% guaranteed, there's a lot of people jumping into Ethereum willing to pay $4,000 for it. But if you look at the 1 week chart, Ethereum's kind of like average price over, a rolling average weekly basis is much closer to $3,000. So we
Yeah,
have
that's right.
to,
Look at that. The cloud and the line are right around there.
yeah, so we have to be prepared for Ethereum to come back down to earth, even if it is destined to go to 7,000. So it's just like, what kind of game are you playing? Are you buying with spot, with the like I'm buying actual Ethereum with the expectation of, I just want to be in a good place in 12 months? Well, you have plenty of time. You could probably get away with buying $4,000 Ethereum if you're okay feeling like you're upside down for possibly weeks, at a certain point in time when maybe that the market kind of catches up with us. If you're not looking with that type of time horizon, and you're also maybe playing with leverage, like 5x leverage, then your expectation should probably be different. You probably would not want to enter that because
So Brace,
it could come back down very quickly.
curious there. Because I've seen y'all talk about this in there quite often about leverage. Like you just said, 5x leverage. What is that? What does 5x leverage really mean? What is that?
So if you have like the way that I explain it, and probably the way I've just seen it, is if you have $1,000 real cash, you can put it into a trade and say, I want to long Ethereum. The exchange will treat your $1,000 position of real cash as $5,000. And so you'll essentially accelerate your gains by 5x. So if Ethereum goes up 5%, because of your leverage, you made 25% and you could cash out. And so that's the exciting game a lot of people are playing. But the part people need to understand is, and the reason we have stop losses and try to calculate asymmetry and account for, the potential downside of that, is it happens exactly the same way when it goes against your trade. So if
Right.
your Ethereum position, you enter and you go, cool, I just entered a great long position, and then Ethereum drops by 1%. Well, your $1,000 is not just down by 1%, it's down 5%. So now your balance is $950, for instance. But a lot of people really like it because if you have asymmetry accounted for, and your goal is something like a 7% increase in real Ethereum percentage, well, then your goal for your real money is about a 35% gain, which is great. And if you set your stop loss to where the most you're willing to lose because of your technical analysis is, I think I could enter this. If I happen to catch this particular, bottom, I enter on this nice support. I believe it'll have a nice clean bounce there. And because I believe that, I'm going to set a stop loss that's only 1% below that line. So if I lose 1% times 5 because I'm doing it with 5x leverage. So again, in the example with $1,000, I'm going to lose about $950, maybe some slippage, which just means, you couldn't
Fees and
sell
other
out.
stuff.
Let me
Yeah.
show you
Yeah.
a little bit of example.
Yeah.
I can do 10x and 10x. I'm not going to actually do a trade, but I'll set my leverage to those. And this is by bit.
You could do like a $10 trade if you want to show them what it looks like.
Yeah, and so but anything you put in here, this is what I'm looking at here. If I want $1,000 worth of value, it's going to cost me $100 for a long and $100 for a short because they're both at 10x leverage. So I will get $1,000 worth of Bitcoin for $100 at 10x leverage. Now, if I change this to 50x, which I don't recommend, use your belt level, obviously, but you can see the cost for a long is $21 to get $1,000 at 50x, and the cost for a short, because it's still set at 10, is $100. Do you see how that works?
Yeah, we've had a few people question like why did I only make, $5? It said I made 30%. Why did I only make $5? If you look back where Joel was showing that cost, that's the place to look for it. You want to see where, what does that cost say? And that is how you know what your real organic capital at risk is. Like you've sent $5,000 to Bybit and you want to enter this trade. If that number is not, if it's only $5, you're probably not going to make that much, even if you're on like 100x leverage. I mean,
even 200% of a $2 long is $4, So
yeah, or $6. Yeah. So that's kind of that's the reason for these tiny gains when people just kind of do it on accident. I know Jimmy had the same thing. He's like, I was supposed to make 30% and it was only like $20. So it was that.
Yeah, and the hard part that I was learning in there was not understanding that part at first. But once you do, it's fairly it's automatic, and all the other exchanges work the same exact way with the same sort of cost breakdown as that.
But in theory, though, if you did it at 0x, right? Meaning I want a 5,000 and I just put all 5,000 on my own money. then wouldn't you have a higher return because then you're not kind of borrowing or you're not leveraging that money?
The lowest that if you play perpetuals, the lowest that it goes is 1x. If you don't want to play perpetuals, then you would just be spot trading, and you could totally do that too. Then you're just buying the asset when you think it's going to go up and selling it when you think it's going to go down. But like I'm on the Bybit exchange right now too, and if I wanted to go below 1, I couldn't. That's the lowest it goes. I'm in an atom trade right now, so that's the only thing. So the lowest you could go is 1x, and that's that may be a really great leverage for a lot of people, especially if they're looking to put a lot of money into it and they don't want the numbers to move extremely fast, and they are really looking for more of like, I'm reasonably sure about the long-term, direction of price, and I want to be able to have a much wider stop loss than these guys with 20x leverage. That's a great place to be. 1x leverage on Bitcoin with, somebody could do that with a very large capital position and do really well. 100 grand, like it wouldn't matter.
And what I've found is if you're patient with these lower leverage, if it is truly going up, like it's pretty hard to not wait it out, at least in for my opinion. It depends when you buy, obviously.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So when you see people, like, just keep in mind that like the percentages are your own. I think it's amazing that we have the ability to like play all these different games, but you'll see, like as we progress, you'll see people with 200% gains, which is great. You have to assume that they wouldn't just be wasting their time here to make 200% gains on $2. But at the same time, keep in mind that like it's just calculating percentages. So you kind of have to assume like this person's not going to be here just making like $5 a day. So if they're still here, it's because they're probably, making money that is relevant to, it's a good return on investment to them in their world. But
Yeah.
the point I want to make is you can see somebody post an 8% gain. Like as we get more and more members, like there will be people that post an 8% gain, and in their world that could easily be like 16 grand, because I enrolled somebody recently who will be playing, at a really high level. Anytime he maybe shares a 3% screenshot, it could be, quite a bit, a lot more than we would think. And so in that regard, you just have to play your own game, I guess is the
That's what
point I'm
I'm
making.
trying to learn too when I move through this process is I am moving up in my organic, capital position sizes and lowering my leverage because it allows me more room. But yeah, I'm finding that my 8 and 12 and 15% gains far supersede my $500 60% and 80 and 100% gains simply because it's the same exact trade, just more capital, well, more thought out. So like that's the part where I am. I was most of my trades 300, 500, $1,200 organic capital, at 5, 10, 30x leverage sometimes. So they are fun, but long term, my goal would be to be more, 10,000, 10, 20,000 in a trade. Very happy with 5% a day at that point, because significant differences than the $300 trades. But do what's right for you. Like I didn't do the $1 trades, $10 trades, $100 trades that Brayson suggested. And I also have never made a trade under 5x. So maybe I should try that at some point too. So, I'm still learning, and you're going to go through that process at whatever speed you need to. And you can do these things on these Bing X and FemX with, fake money too. And you can use the algorithms or the screenshots and try to pretend the trades. And I wish I did some of that because I would have learned the buttons to press. And that to me was why I personally delayed a month or two of paying membership because I just didn't know what to click on Bybit. I didn't trust that it took 28 minutes to get my money there because it was on Ethereum, or whatever it is. And it was scary, but it's part of that process that like you really can't teach unless you just go do it. So we're looking for those types of people too. And feedback on how to shorten those curves for other people is why we're hopeful that phase one people are paying $1,000 a month more than future phases, or less than future phases, but also can help us streamline that process and really grow as a community. But
Yeah, and I highly suggest playing the $10 game. Like I think if Joel could have done it over instead of spending 4 months not trading and just thinking about it and watching, he could have been just pushing buttons, even if it's just with $10.
Yep.
Man, and I think it makes you appreciate your bigger trades later when you think
Yeah.
back and you're like, man, I remember when I was excited that I made like 20% on $5 and it became 6, or whatever it is.
Well,
So
and I completely agree with you, which is why I was asking some of those questions of the platform and so forth, because right, that's how I'll learn is just get in there and do it. To the
Mhm.
point in the beginning, not with a lot of capital, because I'm pretty much like Joel, except I haven't started trading yet. So, you did yours back in, say, I remember December 27th. I haven't done
Yep.
mine yet.
yeah,
But I want to do it with a smaller amount, right? And
Mhm.
get to learn because there's so much to learn.
Yeah. And I
yeah,
would say
and
the
then
other thing I would have done differently is use the algorithms for my other investment in holdings side that I had, that wasn't all crypto, just because the data is there. Like
Mhm.
that could have brought me enough value probably just while I learn. So I wouldn't feel like I'm paying and I'm not trading these high leverage, things that I want to. So like I am trying to figure out that right process with members and get them to understand that this could be a 1, 2, 3 month thing until you're trading enough to pay for your trading program, right? Like, and that's how I had it with the wife too. And I told her, I'm like, this is gonna be 3 months till I make $2,000 a month to pay for this. Luckily, I got in some good trades and it wasn't right. And she's even said to me just like yesterday, I remember when $100 a day was exciting, and then 300 a day, and now you've done 1,000 or more a day every day for a handful of days now. Seems like it's working, right? And I'm like, yeah, like it's kind of cool. So I want that contagious stuff to come to everyone else because if I just went for the 1,000 a day right away, which I know is a goal to a lot of people, um, I wouldn't have gotten it. There's no way. I would have just blown through a lot of bad trades because I made a lot of mistakes. Like we all will, but it's learning from them.
and that's exciting to me because I don't think I had anybody that came from no trading. So when you said
Good.
I've never traded in my life, and I was like, okay, well then this is going to be the real test. If Joel can pull this off, then it works. It's not just
So I
like me.
started, I mean, just very openly, like, let's just look at this stuff. I don't mind. Again, I'm doing this all as an open book with everyone. So let's see, where am I? Assets. So all right. Yeah, I don't mind. Like I'll share openly because like I started this trading account with $2,000. And I've withdrawn 4,000 to pay for 2 months worth of fees. But where am I at? So I have 11,000 plus four. So I turned two into 15 in 64, 66 days. And I may have deposited 1,800 more. So I turned 3,800 into 15. So I put the $4,000 that I took out back in. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know if you can do the same exact things, but to me, for someone who's never traded, I think that's pretty cool. And I'm trying to, tell her now you can unlock some real money for me, right? And she's like, here, take as much as you can. And that's a very different thing than it was 60 days ago when it was like, what kind of gambling scheme are you getting into? Like
Are you into poker again?
yeah, right. Like I
Right,
thought we
right.
weren't gambling anymore. No, I'm like, no, this is like, and it does feel as someone who has professionally played poker and gambled professionally, like it does feel close to it, but it is the data. Like it's you playing as the house. You straight up have the statistical advantage if you use the data right. In my opinion, like that's how blackjack, that's how the house wins in blackjack. They have that little edge, and we have a much larger edge, in my opinion. So, like, it is close to that, but it's like you're a professional card counter going into the casino. You're playing this poker game with everyone else cards up, and it really feels that way.
And I'll tell you one thing that also has helped me. For myself, I needed a checklist for what would really change my way of doing things. And I've had there was many times when I felt like I knew what I was doing enough to just eyeball everything and just be like, oh, this looks, see enough orange, and
I have them
everything
printed
just
here. I
felt
go through them now on physical paper, Grayson.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if you can, there's mine too. It's all filled out. So I did a trade, and I'll just be honest too. I went through and I did a trade and I didn't use it. And I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. And then later I'm upside down in this trade and I'm like, I wonder what it looks like on the checklist. And so then I go through the checklist and I start looking at it, my eyeballing the trade, what I thought was decent versus what was officially like a good trade. And it was like embarrassingly 80% against the checklist. And I was like, how did it look good, you know, and flip on me like that? And secondly, there just must be way more to the checklist than you know, that I'm not processing that I think I am. And so it's that over optimism that I think can get us all. And so I'm like back to using the checklist on paper and just going through it. And some of them are not even, I mean, that there's a yes or no, but some of them are just literally like questions to make you think, you know, and they may have a little bit more than a yes or no answer. So I wrote notes and you know, I was like, is my trade intelligent or emotional? Rushing is almost always a sign of emotion. I put it was impatient. I was chart watching. It was emotional. And then I put new trends forming with blue on blue or orange on orange. No, very early signs of possible reversal. Do conditions in larger time frames support my success or failure? Failure. Is Bitcoin in total three supporting my success or failure? Failure. Like I went through and I was like, what was I even looking at?
And so for
So
those of you that may not know what he's talking about, we do have this checklist video breakdown, 30 separate videos from the introduction and practical application side. There's like 6 videos there, about 40, 50 minutes. And then one video for each list on this checklist, sandwiched by breakout bars. Brayson walks through an entire trade step by step so you can go through all of list 1. Then you get to entry considerations, list 2. Then you get to risk mitigation and asymmetry, or list 3. After you complete these checklists, you can go through it. And the more and more that I start using them, the first 30 days, I did not use the checklist at all. And that's when my balance went 1,500, 1,100, 1,900, 800, like no checklist, just getting lucky on some of these 1 minute time frame channels, honestly, like I just picked the right ones, to significant, like 10x type of growth. And it's just been this checklist. And I have 2 versions. I don't know which one I like better, you know, this bigger printed version or this smaller one. But I think it's going to lead to us creating a trade journal, like the DIO trade journals. Like my team's kind of processing that, like little tips on those. You can log and register each of your trades. You'll have record of when you entered, what was the result. And it doesn't necessarily need to be online. Like my mind always like, how do we automate this online? Let people input them. We can then give them data on their stuff. Maybe we'll get to that later. I personally like this little handwritten thing because it's right there. Like I already have different screens up and different charts up, and I don't need another input thing to do personally. So what I've heard overwhelmingly from people, let's simplify this, even though it's not simple. I'll do my best. Let's get the time so people know that I'm available to help. Brayson's available when he's necessary. Like I'll be doing more of the front end stuff. But also, what do I need to get started? I tried to cover that. And this checklist, like this checklist is where we're going to make most of our money, in my opinion. So like what you're buying is the algorithms, what you have access to. Everyone has the checklist and the training and the free stuff. Paid members get a little bonus training with Brayson, maybe some events, some future perks and other things, but you're buying the algorithms. We can turn those off. That's why it's easy and transferable. Whereas other masterminds and groups, like you can't turn off the training. Once you learn how to do this, like you can't take back that knowledge. So we're very comfortable giving that knowledge away, giving the time away, because the algorithms are, in my opinion, that good. So more things to come. Like growth is happening. The team's going to be building some welcome packages. We're going to be adding some more training. We're going to do a little trade journal. Maybe we'll put on the site. People can buy it. I don't know. It's not really a money maker thing. It's about improving the process so we can make money trading or holding or whatever you're doing. So, I mean, that's all I got for an hour and a half at least. I mean, I'm down to hang out and play some more and talk and answer questions, but we are at 11 of 12 members in phase 1. And I hope We've probably fill that next week, which is really cool. Right on par. Again, I have this roadmap in my head of how to get to 100 people by December, and we're on it, and we're on the path, and we are going down the path, and it's working, and that makes me happy. So like I tell my wife, like I'm gonna make a deck, like and I'm not having my team. I like it. I'm like, it's not work when I'm having fun, man. Like I'm gonna hang out here, I'm gonna be in Discord, and I'm available. So let me know how I can help you guys.
I think we should all get a hat from Brayson with our number on it and what number we are.
We're going to do some cool things with the numbers for
Some
sure.
gear and some swag.
Number
got the swag,
4,
guy.
number 5.
Yeah, Peter's like -1.
But then those coming in phase 4, they'll be like, oh wait, I'm all the way here in the 90s. Wait a minute.
Yeah, hey, 90 is still better than unavailable.
90,
This is true.
99 and 100 would be cool numbers. But
Yeah,
The last one.
right.
Yeah, that will be cool. And then we'll have a waiting list because not everyone's going to stay forever, and that's you can go whenever you want. Like it's your thing to have or not have. And we will probably have like phase 1 waiting list, and we'll offer phase 2 that. Like that's probably in my head how it's going to work. Again, we're building this as we go. Like we don't have phase 3 to worry about that yet. And no one has really fully canceled. Now there are members that are still in their 60 days. Maybe they won't stay, and we will have more in phase 1. Like we are going to fill it with people that plan on staying. That's how we get 100 real core members. And it's not a lot, honestly. If 50 people already in the back office, we haven't done much. We haven't really taken it to traditional or anyone that just has a lot of holdings themselves personally, spot side. I think there's a lot of value there just to have insights of where to put your money. And the group's going to get healthier, and we're going to have even more cool networked people that's going to do other business together. And I've enjoyed hanging out with you guys. So anyone that wants to just jam with me, I'm open to.
Sure, and just to kind of give you some feedback where I was coming from, IRA is saying Roth IRA is just some of those taxing implications, right? Going to Palau and doing all this kind of stuff, and I understand it's all on the up and up, but I also understand because I also talked to John about or Johnny, I guess, as y'all know, about this is going, unless it's clear about the tax, I'm glad nobody's been audited or there's not anything, but we're still not 100% sure how all that works. So it's like, at least for me in the beginning, kind of like you were saying, Joel, I was going to say, well, let me play with Roth IRA. Let me do that. I know there's, no real taxing implications there. Let me just play with that. And if I need cash elsewhere, I can get it from other places for now, and then kind of play with that and see how it goes. And maybe we'll learn more about the taxing and how some of these other places and moving money, right? Like Joel, like you said, when you moved money out of there, it went from not being visible to being visible, and then now how is that going to be related on the tax? Anyway, so just meaning there's some unknowns still yet as far as that, which is why I wanted to play it a little bit more secure, playing stateside and with things that will be seen and say, hey, you know what, let me just do Roth because I don't want to sit here and mess with capital gains, which obviously this type of trading is be triggering those buttons all day long. So that's just so that's where I was coming from.
Sure.
So let me play there. And then if things go great and I say, well, I might put a little over there and buy a bit, go through that and just play as we grow. But anyway, just some of my thoughts on that.
Rayson, do you know any taxed people yet that are like crypto specific focused? Like I'm still out searching for the best. I got one or two that may want to provide insight.
I know one that really promoted himself as I don't use him as the only thing, but I know a guy that kind of promoted himself to a larger crypto community that was pretty deep into crypto, as a CPA. So if you wanted to, I could always share his information. He seemed pretty legit and very knowledgeable. I use some people out of Arizona actually, and my guy's, good. I have had no reason to switch. But this other guy, like I said, he seemed like he almost had more of a affiliation with the crypto space. So the only other thing I was going to say that's useful is using cryptotrader.tax and keeping track of your wallet addresses. And that, is kind of nice because it connects to all of those addresses via an API. It kind of scans them and then it comes up with a report for all your gains, all your losses, and that's been pretty nice for me. I take that, I just kind of download it, and then I send it over to my CPA. I'm
Is
not
that
one of
this
those that
Coin Ledger?
uh
Is it?
yeah, I think that is it. I think they like rebranded, because I think if you go to
Yeah.
cryptotrader.tax, it takes you there.
Yeah, that's where I went and
Uh,
it forwarded here.
Yeah, so I've been using this one and it's just been nice. I buy whatever the package is that I need to buy. It's relatively inexpensive, and just depends on, how many deals you do. But all in
Oh, they do
all,
NFTs too.
a good use of my, for me, like my time and everything to get it done this way. And then like I said, I'm not one of those people that's gonna try to not tell the IRS about it just because I have no reason to avoid taxes, or like everything I do with this. I know it's pioneering and I think it's tempting to be like, oh, it's the blockchain and it's anonymous, and I don't know what other people do. I can't control other people, but I don't want to lie on anything that I register for, whether it's a Palau ID, whether it's an exchange. And when it comes to taxes, my position is I'm just going to pay them, because, it's on I think it's on the first page of your IRS sheet now. It says, did you make money from crypto? They're starting to get more and more, like forward about it. And right underneath it, it's like, it's a felony if you don't tell us. So it's like,
Do you
it is.
do you do professional trader status?
I actually am filing for it this year. I haven't,
Yeah.
but I'm like, as much as I'm doing this, I just like might as well at this point.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
I think if you get to the point you're trading like a few times a week, even, then talking to your CPA about tax trader status is probably a good idea for sure.
Yeah, that's what mine just told me. He's like, no, it's too many, because they don't care about the volume. It's more the number of trades, I think, and options to gain and lose. But yeah,
Right. And
that's
it allows you to like offset your losses in a more like efficient way than
Mhm.
non-tax trader people. So it's like the moment like I'm gonna do this, whether even if I have a rocky start, I'm committing to this as a part of my lifestyle. It could be regular stocks, it could be crypto, it could be DeFi. But if trading is a part of your future, whether it's midterm, swing trading, scalping, doesn't matter. I think that that's definitely a status, per the IRS, that's worth looking into. Just make sure it's, a good fit for you or not a good fit for you. But I think there's some advantages for sure.
Yep.
Appreciate
So,
that.
Yeah, I'm excited to have a good March. I'm just waiting for my move of some funds, and then I can start doing these lower leverage, longer time frame trades, and I'm really excited about that because they seem. I still have a theory that if you just go in on orange on those one day and 1 week and just go out on the right thing, like could work out well. So I'm gonna play with that some more, and I'll update everyone on what I find for sure. But
So you're going for
Yeah.
your
Cool.
own March Madness, huh?
yeah, why not? Now it's time.
Yeah, awesome.
Any other questions or things you wanted anyone to cover before we jam out?
I'm good. But
No?
Joel, that sheet you have, you're going to share that with us?
Yeah, I'll share it with you guys. I'll put it in Discord. So there's it's just a Google Doc right now, but
Right.
it will be a PDF with I'll probably put DIO's referral links on all those exchanges because they do all send a couple $100 and stuff when they gamify that process. But yeah, right now it's just open links, and yeah, I'll share it over. I can put it in the chat right here for people that are here, and then I'll put it on Discord here later. Let me just get one that has view access. Okay. I'll drop it right now in the Zoom chat. And it is a work in progress. I will keep adding and changing this document until it becomes a PDF in the back office somewhere. But that's kind of where the team's at right now, is we're creating a little bit of assets and images and things to email to people to put in the back end of the member website, but also have some automations and stuff to keep people in the know. So very cool.
This was the first time that I've physically seen Ho.
Oh yeah?
It's always been his name because his
He's
children
a
are
real
not
person.
Yeah,
Anyone know who
I'm
Ben is?
like, I bought his book. I know he's real, but I'm like, oh, there he is.
That's awesome.
It's always
I
been
think
his
Johnny
name because it's
Cake
like too
feels
early.
good, I
The kids are not up.
Does anyone know who
hilarious.
MM is on here or no?
Everybody loves M&Ms, you know that.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, if you're there and you
Uh-huh.
want to say hello, nice to see you. But
Yeah. Well, awesome. Yeah, thank you guys for all showing up. I'm glad that I got a chance to make it as well. And hopefully this answers some questions on the roadmap that we have and the uncertainty that will always exist for us for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and
Grayson, do we know
I'll-
what time next week you're doing your training, if it's Thursday or Friday?
No, I got to figure out next week because it's spring break with my son. So
Okay.
I'll have to figure it out, but I'll let you guys know a bit in advance for sure.
All right.
Well,
Awesome.
enjoy it. Savor that time.
Yeah.
yeah,
that's,
it's really awesome.
that's the truth.
But
So,
mine
yeah,
are
I'll
all they're all out. Well, I take it
Yeah.
a senior. I have a senior. She's her last year.
You have a
Okay.
senior daughter, you said?
Yes,
Wow, very cool.
and
How
that's
many
the
kids?
youngest. And between
Oh,
my
yeah.
wife and I, we have 7.
Wow, and they're all old and out of the house, but one.
No, not quite that. Not,
Okay, not
They're-
there yet, but they're old.
yeah, I'm trying to get them out of the house, but they're still,
Well,
Yeah.
you can trade from
my-
any hotel or beach that you want to.
Right.
if you need a break.
exactly right.
Yeah.
See ya.
All right.
Well, cool. Well, then, all right, everyone. Well, then we'll see
All right.
you next Thursday or Friday or next week with Brayson. I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'll have even more then, and I'm around on Discord. Happy to hop on one-on-ones, and I can only share my experience, but that I think is worth something. So let me know if you need me. So appreciate you all, and have a happy weekend, and we'll see you in the Discord.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Bye,
Take
guys.
care,
All
guys.
right. Bye.